We are gathered here today to stand as witnesses for love, for the love between any loving couple, for the love of a parent for their gay or lesbian or transgender child, for the love of our community of friends and neighbors, and for the love of our state and our nation that professes a commitment to liberty and justice for all.
It is a life moment for these happy couples who live in a state that doesn't recognize their marriage.
Each story is unique. No love is perfect. Every relationship has its ups and downs. Some of us love people who are the same gender as us. Others of us love people who are the opposite gender. It's all the same love.
Indiana has never recognized same-sex marriage. But for many here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, the significance of that very moment years ago can never be discounted.
It was weird when the judge said you can kiss the bride. We had been so used to not doing any kind of public displays of affection that it was really weird to be told that. But
so we just hugged.
Yeah.
To me, I didn't know that I was going to cry, but to me that meant I didn't really care how we got married, but we finally got to say those things that everybody else gets to say.
Jane and Jana got to know each other when they were in high school. They got married in New York last year, with the little bridegroom standing aside witnessing their son Jude.
All right, you want to pour?
For Joanne and Carol, having lived together for 35 years with a 90-year-old young musician daughter, a marriage license from Massachusetts is more like, quote, a political statement.
We both worked for the government long before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was ever passed or rescinded, and it was a really different time. I remember being told I was too flamboyant because I had a picture of my spouse and my daughter on my desk.
After living through decades of difficulties, they were the first couple to file a lawsuit this spring to challenge the state's marriage ban. And they were joined by Jane and Jana, along with 3 other couples.
That Christ has come.
Even for those who are not part of the lawsuit, life is not easy.
Amen.
As a gay Christian minister, Reverend Daniel Kostakis spends a lot of time searching for jobs as well as his own identity.
So they took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him.
I couldn't get a job in just any church. There are many whose doors would be closed to me, not only as a minister, but even if I simply wanted to worship there on Sunday morning. But at the same time, I will say that one of the greatest helps for me in coming out has been the church. It's been communities like the one here and the many others in town that are completely affirming.
Job discrimination is not the only pain that was brought to the LGBT community.
Hi, honey. You just want that apple? Yeah. Well, let's get it for you. How's your day?
Good, how's yours?
Good.
Rachel Jones knew she wants to be a girl when she was little, but she says it wasn't easy to tell her feelings.
I was teased once when I got caught dressed as a girl when I was probably 5 or 6. So even though I always knew, I did a pretty good job of holding it down. As you get older, you come to grips more with who you really are. And the ability to do that lessened. It was a long, gut-wrenching process that isn't over.
After hiding in the closet for years, she finally came out, declaring how she really wants to live her life. This cafe here in Bloomington is her new stop.
Because I'm not passable, I'm odd wherever I go. In Bloomington, it doesn't matter quite as much because Bloomington's very open and accepting, but beyond Bloomington, last night I went to a function in Nashville, Indiana, where I'm from, and I saw a guy that I used to work out with, and he was totally freaked. I said hi because he was staring at me, and he said hi, but was very brief, and I asked him if he liked the movie, and he said it was okay, but I could tell he was really bothered.
Sometimes the pain even comes from the people they love. Reverend Kostakis feels lucky that his son has always been supportive of his choice, but things didn't work well when he came out to his parents who live in Pennsylvania.
I wanted to be personal, but I also knew it was going to be very hard to get through, so I kind of used a script, as it were. They basically just said, well, we have to think about this, we love you, and they hung up the phone. And, it was good to hear those words, I love you, but to make yourself so vulnerable, lay yourself out there, and then just be told, well, we have to think about it, click, was very difficult.
His parents barely spoke to him after he first brought his husband back home.
It's like, okay, well, Dan's gay, but he's gay in Bloomington, and when he's here, he's not. But by bringing Andrew to the house, I became gay everywhere.
Today, I want to talk to you as a father. She's 39. When she was born, I was elated. Think about that time in your life. Joy, hope, love, a little relief.
That's the testimony Phil Cooper gave to the state legislature during his battle against the Joint Resolution 3, also known as HJR 3, a Republican-proposed constitutional amendment reinforcing the state's same-sex marriage ban. As parents of a lesbian daughter, Phil and Ruth Ann Cooper always hear from LGBT community that how great of them fight for their daughter.
I don't know why I was where I was on it, but it's just, I love my daughters, and it's just the way people are. We confirm that, and it's unconditional love. It's just there.
After their daughter Carrie left Indiana to pursue her own career in other states, Phil began to fight for his daughter's rights and became an active volunteer in Freedom Indiana, an organization that aims to protect civil rights for LGBT individuals. Phil says he doesn't remember how many times he has driven back and forth between Indianapolis and Bloomington in the measure's long debate process. But he is not fighting alone. Democratic State Representative John Bartlett says over the past few years, the state has spent a lot of time and money on social issues, such as same-sex marriage. He says it is time to end the debate.
Across the nation, we're moving to say we're non-discriminatory. In the state of Indiana, we're moving to say we are discriminatory. I think this is very damaging for the state of Indiana because we lose a lot of talent because of an ideology.
Carmel Mayor Jane Brainard is among the very few Republicans that expressed his concern toward the measure.
Churches, religious institutions, faith groups can set whatever standards they want to. Government shouldn't be setting those standards and inserting themselves into that religious role, however.
After 6 weeks of contentious debate, the measure eventually failed to pass. But for Phil, this only means he and his wife didn't have to move elsewhere.
Just knowing that every person I met, in the back of my mind is going to be, well, did you vote for this or did you vote against it? Did you vote for my daughter or did you vote against my daughter? And I don't want to live in that environment. But the bottom line is they would not have acted on those in a way to harm someone I love.
Professor Brian Polwell says the pen might still continue.
One of the questions we have to think through is, for children, are they better off if the state government, if the government acknowledges their families, or they say you are not a real family? If you think about it, it's not a question of whether or not children are going to have same-sex families. They're going to. The question is whether or not the state is going to recognize it.
Slowly, for some, life is getting better with more acceptance from the public.
I was worried about the lawsuit, especially with having a young child, that we would get like hate mail, or that, heaven forbid, someone vandalize our home, or and I feel terrible really now that I thought so poorly of us as a collective race and state, and that instead we got a lovely letter from a couple in northern Indiana who said thank you.
Are you doing something special tonight?
You know what? A girlfriend's coming, and then I think I'm a couple other girlfriends, and we're going to go to dinner.
Excellent.
I was afraid of being abandoned by a lot of people, and I was certainly abandoned by some. But I think if you accept yourself, other people have an easier time accepting you. And once I learned that, it really helped.
Okay.
With an open-minded next generation, Joanne and Carol believe achieving marriage equality is just a matter of time.
I don't see myself being different than all of the kids at school. I've had to go through different things and have the oppression of my parents not being able to do everything that my friends' parents can. But other than that, I'm just a normal kid. It had gotten to the point now in the culture where it was just homosexuality was a normal thing.
Reverend Kostakis was amazed by how his son reacted when he told him he wanted to start dating.
Dad likes men, like some people, are straight and a man likes a woman. Well, I am drawn to men. And he just said, okay. And I thought, well, we'll see what comes of this. And at the time, my brother Isaac lived here in town, and we saw Isaac after the Sam's Club shopping trip, and he said, Uncle Isaac, I have to tell you something really silly. And I thought, oh, here it comes. So I was kind of listening around the corner, and my son said, Uncle Isaac, I'm going to get a Pirates of the Caribbean birthday cake. Isn't that silly?
On April 10th, a federal judge ruled the state must immediately recognize the out-of-state marriage of a lesbian couple in Munster. That was one of 5 cases challenging Indiana's same-sex marriage ban. For lots of LGBT individuals, this is great news, but only a start.
Neither one of us believes that marriage is the end of the struggle. That there are other things that really have to be done. Employment discrimination, housing discrimination, anti-bullying, but the marriage is essential.
Yeah. Salad or green beans?
Just cheese.
Just cheese.
All of you who are here, all the friends and family assembled here on this 23rd day of January 2014, do you stand together in solidarity for the rights and happiness of these couples? We do! Then, by the power not yet vested in us by the state of Indiana, we pronounce everyone here partners in change, and all the couples here, husbands and wives, partners in life.
If you segregate, nothing changes.
The characteristics, the right-wing conservatives think it's a decision, and you can be
the being in love part happens, but it doesn't happen every day. It's not like that every day.
Oh nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know.
If we win this, then we've won a tiny piece of civil rights.
3,500 years ago. I don't know.
And I can't change.
So there's Daddy A and Daddy D. And then my son and I share the same name, so we have things epically confusing.
Even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I
can't even imagine a parent rejecting their child just because they're gay.
She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
We press play, don't press pause. Progress march on, with the veil over our eyes. We turn our back on the cause, till the day that my uncles can be united by law. When kids aren't walking around the hallway, plagued by pain in their heart. A world so hateful, some would rather die than be who they are. And a certificate on paper isn't gonna solve it all, but it's a damn good place to start.